So, according to you, how can you explain this internet services? Anyone? What are internet services that you use, or what is difference between other services?
So the service that is provided from one machine to another through World Wide Web or any wireless technology.
Akanksha, you tell.
Sir, internet services is a services which provide means we can communicate with each other and we can send messages and receive messages for emails.
So basically, you are telling about communication services, no?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Next, we'll tell Shreya.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. What are internet services? Explain, according to you.
So the sending of messages through net,
Only sending or
chatting,
receiving
communicating.
messages are not part of internet services. So you can just say that those services which we can avail using internet are called internet services. So there are many different types of services that we can uh, access using internet facility. For example, uh, the very favorite of you all, communication service means chatting, video conferencing, messaging, email. Along with these, you can access other services like e-reservation, e-shopping, uh, e-learning. Okay, so these are also internet services. Means all those services that can be accessed with help of internet are called internet services. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So many times these services are accessed using their website, or sometimes these are accessed using their specific application software. Okay, for example, you can access Gmail, your email account of Gmail from the website of the Gmail, as well as the Gmail application in your Android or whatever the operating system phone you have. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
so far, we are using several different technologies like television, means of transportation. So we are using different types of vehicles. Those are also part of technology, and television, and different communication devices like radio. Okay, so out of all these technologies, internet is the most used technology in present time. All of you agree with this statement or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, very
Yes.
Hmm. So with the help of internet, the most of the time we use for information retrieval. So whenever we find any difficult word or term, or if we have to find information of any place, anything, so the best way we find is to use internet for searching the information. So this is called information retrieval. Okay, so we used to retrieve information from the internet by surfing on different websites. So far, we can use any search engine for this. We generally search the keyword in search engine, and that search engine provides us different website address from where we can access information regarding that keyword. So this is called information retrieval. So this can be done using internet facility with help of any web browser application. Understood, everyone? This information retrieval.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
So this is a very common thing for all of us. No? Whenever we find any difficulty about any place, we want to search about any place or any person or any particular term, the best method we have got to search it on internet with help of internet from any website. So this is called information retrieval. Next common service is email. So email, all of you know that emails for here for electronic. Mail means message. So this is an electronic message. So with help of email, user can send text message to another user. So apart from the text message, user can also attach multimedia files like audio clip, video clip, picture, as well as compressed files also. So along with those that text message, a user can also send different attachments in the email message. So I think all of you have used email in your uh, smartphone or using the web browser of your computer. Is it? Have you all
Yes, sir.
used that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So in email message, you generally send text message and then you put attachment like pictures, multimedia file as well as compressed file. So all of you know na, about attachments in email.
Yes, sir.
So what is email account? Next term associated with the email. So email account is simply you can say it is a mailbox provided to user by the email server. So whenever we create our account on any email server, we used to get an email account, and in that email account there is a mailbox where user can uh, receive, or from there user can send email messages to another user. So to access email account, user must have to sign in with a valid username and password. So it is a very common thing. First of all, we have to create email account in any email server. So email server, for example, Gmail, Yahoo, Rediff, Outlook. So many email servers are there. So we have to first create email account there on any email server. Then there we'll get uh, a user ID and password. So using that user ID and password, we can log into our email account, and from there we can send or receive email messages. Okay. Next is email address. So every email account has got a unique address for unique identification of the user on the email server. So using this email address, we can send message to another user, because every user has got their own unique email address. Okay. And that email address is unique to a specific email server. That means if an address is already allotted to Gmail server, so that address cannot be again taken by another user. That address can be taken by another user, but on the different email server. For example, one address is there on Gmail, so the same address can be there on Yahoo, but not on the same email server. Okay. For example, you can see keeps publishing world at gmail.com. So keeps publishing world, this particular address is now unique for this gmail.com, means Gmail server. The same name cannot be taken by any other user at Gmail server. It can be taken uh, by another user, but on different email server like Yahoo or Outlook or any other, but not on Gmail. So here you can see this email address has got its two parts, and these two parts are separated by this symbol at. So at different places, this name changes. So here, in case of email address, uh, here we read it as at simple, but sometimes we have to read it as at the rate of, but no need to say at the rate of here in case of email address. So this symbol actually separates the two parts of any email address. The first part is the username. So this username is decided by the user, and this should be unique on that particular email server. And after this @ symbol, there will be the domain name or the email server name with the extension. So .com is here extension. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
No, sir.
No question. Okay. So I have already this. Let us assume that I have ABC at gmail.com. So can I create one more email account with this same email address? Vishal?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. Amber?
No, sir. We can't.
Prince?
Sir, we can, but not on gmail.com. We can create in Yahoo or any other email service provider, but not on Gmail.
Yes. So I can create ABC at yahoo.com, but not on gmail.com. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Means
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
this username is unique, but only at the gmail.com, not at yahoo.com. Okay, so I can create with same name email ID, means email address, but not on the same email server, but on different email server. Okay. Next is email services. So email services we can access by two methods. The first one is using web-based email service. It is very simple. Web-based email service is quite common because if you have a user account or email account on any email server, then you can access your email account from any computer from any part of the world. So you have to visit to the particular web address of that email service provider, and from there you can log in with your valid email ID and password, and then you can use email services there. Okay, from any computer and from any place. But in the second case, that is application or client based email service. So in this case, you have to install a particular application software in your computer or in your smartphone. So this is called application based or client based email service. It means in that application, you have to log in with your valid user ID and password, and sometimes two more things are also needed, like POP3 server address and SMTP server address. I'll explain what are these two things. So in this second case of email service, you have to install or you have to use any third party application like Outlook Express or Mozilla Thunderbird. So these are the name of two application based email service provider. So you have to first install these any of these two softwares in your computer, and then you have to log in your email account there. So in this case, in the in that particular computer, you can access your email account because you have installed this application at that computer only. So if you want to use client-based email, so you have to install any of these software, then you have to log in with your email ID and password, and then you will be able to use this email service. So understood the difference between these two or not?
Yes, sir.
In the first case, there is no any use of a specific software. Only you have to access that particular website of the email service provider, and you can log in from any computer. Okay, and then you can use your email account. But in this second case, you have to install a particular software, and in that software you have to log in, and then you can only use your email account there. Okay, so while login, you have to provide these things. First one is the username and password of the email account that you want to log in. Then the email address. So email address and username will be the same. So these are not two different things. Next is POP3 server address and SMTP server address. So POP3 and SMTP, these are the two protocols. So if you recall, protocols are the set of rules for a particular service on when you are using internet. So POP3 means post office protocol. 3 means here version 3. SMTP means simple mail transfer protocol. So POP3 protocol is active, will be active when you are receiving any email, and SMTP protocol will be active when you are sending any email message. So using this as POP3 protocol, this particular application means of Mozilla Thunderbird or Outlook Express will be able to save your email messages in your computer or smartphone. Means if you are not, if you have not the internet connectivity, but you can see your previously saved email messages in your computer or smartphone using this POP3 server, POP3 protocol actually. And with help of SMTP protocol, you will be able to send any email message to any other user. So this POP3 and SMTP has got their own addresses, and you will need these two addresses while logging in to your email account using these two softwares. Understood or not? Tell me.
So just now you told that POP3 and SMT got their own address. So I did not get this one.
Listen. This email communication actually do not happen directly between first user and the second user. Means if you are sender and someone is receiver, so the email message does not just leave from your computer and just reach there directly. Actually, it visits from several servers, then it reaches to the receivers. Okay, so first when a user sends an email message, so that message first goes to the email provider server there, and from that server it locates the receiver server. Okay, so just like if you know the working of post office, like in India, if you want to send any postcard or any letter from Buxar to Mumbai, so it will not directly goes to Mumbai from your address. First, it will means if you are sending it from your village, so it will first reaches to the headquarter Buxar, then it will go to Patna office, then from Patna it will go to Mumbai, and from Mumbai that your letter will be sorted out for that particular address. Okay, so this actually happens in case of email message transferring also. It does not reach directly to the receiver. It jumps from one server to another server. Okay, so those servers has got their own address. Means SMTP server address means when you send your email message, so the first server it will go from your computer. So the address of that server it is saying. And POP3 server address means the server from which you will receive your email message, that server address it is saying. Now understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So email communication is not like WhatsApp communication in which you send your message and that message directly reaches to the receiver. Here in case of email, it jumps from one server to another server. Okay. Any question?
Okay, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
So POP3 is works like just like the post office. That is why it got its name, post office protocol. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So with
Okay,
the
sir.
help of SMTP, you can send your email message, and with help of POP3, you will be able to receive email message. And one thing is benefit here in case of POP3, that is that message that you receive from your POP3 server, that is saved in your application there. Means you can access that email message when you are not connected to the server. Okay, you will be able to access that email. Okay, means previously saved email messages are already there in your application. But can you access any email from web-based email if you are not connected to the internet?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, no.
No, sir.
Hmm. Your Gmail application also stores all your received emails, means previously received emails. Okay, then you can access all those email messages if you are not connected with internet. But if you want to use web-based email, then you have to first open the website. So in order to open that website, definitely you will need the internet connection. No?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the difference. between this web-based email and application or client-based email service. Okay, then. Now I think our time